Hey guys, so passerine. Oh, my hands are so dry. Wait, let me put some moisturizer on. Or I'm gonna be complaining about that whole stream. I don't really like the smell of this hand cream. It's like, what is it? Wild rose. It doesn't even smell like roses. It's paraben, I don't know what that is. Paraben, mint, and sulfate free. You can be allergic to sulfate. I'm like really dumb. So yeah, we'll be reading what's it called, passerineee. Let me just get my Twitch manager up so I can see chatters. Searching up the wrong things. Twitch.tv. Ooh, turn off my audio for a second. Wait, I need to go to a different account. Wait a minute. Twitch. And then my creator dashboard. Wait, Gary, stream manager. Unmute. I love how you can just like see that. Look. Oh, it's not that laggy today. It's a bit better. Okay. Oh, I just messed up my panels. No. Shoot. Wait. Let's refresh my stream. Oh, no. I'll fix them. Okay, let's go. This is even a suiting one. Oh, I don't want Tommy in its podcast. I want the songs he uses for his stream. Tommy in its stream songs. Hopefully I won't get copyrighted. Okay, that's pretty chill. So, this is passerineee by, who is it by? Passerineee by Blue Jammers. This, I'm just gonna spell that out. THCSCUS bracket Blue Jammers. I will not be reading out the summary, the notes, because that's a lot of stuff. So how to start from here, which is the start of it. So here we go. He must have had a life before this. A mother, a father, a home. Maybe sisters or brothers. But it had been so long, too long. And now all he knew was this bloody game. His hands knew no other shape than fists held tightly around a sword, swinging eternally, finding its mark through skin and bone. They all tried to run, of course. They built walls and cowered in corners, but he always found them. Sometimes they begged, sometimes they chose to jump off cliffs, rather than facing his reckoning. Rather than face his reckoning. And sometimes they stared back at him with empty eyes and as his own. and welcomed death with his open arms. Those were the ones he envied the most. Technoblade never dies. I'll re-say that so it's like a whisper to home. Technoblade never dies. They whispered around campfires and funeral pyres. He prayed that wasn't true. The voices led him to kingdoms and shires and towns. It didn't mean what they offered him. That it didn't matter what they offered him in return. The voices didn't demand coins. They demanded blood. He fought for bold men and stupid men, greedy kings and starry-eyed rebels. He fought for armies doomed to fail and dragged them into the light of glory. He lost count of how many allies he fought beside him after a time. Their names and faces had faded into the recesses of his hazy memory. And then there was the Angel of Death. He was one of the few people with a reputation that matched Technoblade. He heard of the angel through whispered stories, snatches of tavern gossip. I heard he has obsidian rings, one patron would say to another, over a cup of ale. I heard he once massacred an entire army all by himself. He makes even the Green God afraid. Technoblade had begun to imagine a ruthless man, an immortal butcher with the same wretched grin as him. But Filza was not an avenging angel, he was just Filza. They met by coincidence in the land of ice and snow. It was barren, but they made quick work of it together, first as allies and then as friends. Through it all, Filza had smiled, at least instead of grinned, laughed instead of cackled. On calmer days, they'd while away time with tea and chess, and silent meditations that quieted the screaming in Techno's head, if only for a little while. You know, Techno had said during one of the sparring matches. They had to stay in shape, of course, because peacetime is never lost as long as people hoped. The stories never talk about this side of you. Filza had a pause, a small, amused smile on his face. Oh? He said. What do the stories talk about then? They call you the Angel of Death. Techno dug his heels in as Filza resumed an onslaught. My English. An onslaught of where did that go? An onslaught of blows with his dual sword. They said you leave a path of destruction in your wake. That was nothing. Techno parried and went on the offensive. That's nothing. That nothing is sacred to you. Oh wait, it's gonna. I'm like that nothing is sacred to you. Their blades met. They pushed against each other, trying to gain an upper hand, and it was only because they were standing so close that Techno noticed the shift in Filza's eyes. What was I up to? Sorry. He noticed the shift in Filza's eyes. A momentary coldness that was brutal as the blizzards raging outside. It was there and gone in an instant. Light returned and Filza laughed as he pushed back against Techno's sword. Stories are a curious thing, Filza says as he swung again, barely giving Techno time to dodge. Some of them are true. He moved so quickly, Techno could do nothing but stand there as Filza rushed him with a hit to the ribs, knocking Techno backwards onto the training room floor. Techno scrambled to his knees, but Filza was already standing over him, with his sword held high above his head, his eyes glimmering with emotion. Techno couldn't place. For once in his mortal life, kneeling there in front of the first person he called friend, Techno felt hunted. Why am I abbreviating his name? Technoblade felt hunted. And then Filza lowered his weapon. He smiled gently at Techno. The soft smile Techno was used to, and offered Techno a gloved hand. And some of them are not. Filza finished. So best of 2 out of 3. You're a bastard, Techno said playfully, even as the voices screamed, Run, run, run. He took Filza's offered hand and pulled himself up beside the man that he was sure could have cut him into two. No matter how though the sword no matter where is that? No matter how dull the sword's edge was, as Filza patiently moved, Techno threw all the things he had done wrong. Small things like foot placement and his heeled grip being an inch off. Techno found it equal parts amusing and frightening that despite his eons of bloody fighting, it took only a few minutes of sparring for Filza to find flaws in his technique. But then again, Techno's technique wasn't quite particularly polished. It took only one brutal swing to fell most people. It took only one brutal swing to fool most people. I think that's an error there. I don't know. I suck at reading. To fell most people. Something told him that Filza would be harder to kill than that. They conquered nations, he and his golden-haired hand. They were bathed in glory, twin gods shining in the middle of a bloody field. Why is there an A there? Oh, I think I know why they keep doing this. Oh, do they have Grammarly? Why I'm saying that is because Grammarly does stuff like this. Like, I'll read that again. Twin gods shining in the middle of a bloody field. Grammarly adds the A. It's supposed to be twin gods shining in the middle of bloody fields. Like an expression. They should have put a comma there actually. Why am I judging somebody's work? They can do better than me. I'm sorry, Blue Pajamas, whatever the name is. I'm sorry. Love the work. Amazing. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. But yeah. I'm so tired. Okay. What was I up to? Oh. But as the empire grew, so did the enemies. They came in droves, day after Deva. Deva? Oh, I guess it's Deva now. Day after day. And before long, Techno had forgotten what peace tasted like. The days were long, and the nights were long. Every flicker of movement was a spy in the shadows. Every ally was a potential traitor. Every word was declaration of war. Their home had become a target for 1,000 armies. Through it all, his one constant was Filza, until he wasn't. Technoblade simply looked up one day from a map detailing enemy lines and realized he'd been talking to empty air. He had no idea how long he'd been alone, sitting in a dusty library with stale tea, untouched in a corner. He had no idea if Filza ever said he was leaving, or if he simply went as he arrived, suddenly, swiftly, like a snowstorm. Afterwards, there was hardly any point in maintaining the empire. The voices were getting bored anyway. They wanted more. A fresh fight. More stories. So Techno took his sword and shield and abandoned ship. He'd done it 1,000,000 times before, but the thought of a chessboard lying unused in a crumbling castle made him feel something close to regret. Technoblade wandered the world, trying to appease the voices. Neither of them were ever satisfied. No matter how much chaos he dealt, there was like a story had been left unfinished, halfway through. Years, decades, maybe more. It hardly mattered. In the end, he knew. It would all be the same. The world would end and he would remain. Always fighting, always alone. He didn't know what brought him to the kingdom in the first place. Did he really have to see it for himself? Was it simply to satiate his curiosity? Was he bored? Or did he hear of a kingdom untouched by the wars and petty grudges of its neighbours, keeping its peace and neutrality for a century, and take it as an easy challenge? Whatever it was, when Techno stood under the shadows of a gilded castle watching its flags flutter lazily, rising towards the sky. That reminded him, right, that reminded him of a different place, somewhere cold and far away. "Hello, stranger," one of the guards at the gate called out. "You sightseeing?" I want to rewrite that. I want to restate that actually. It's got more emphasis in it. "Hello, stranger," one of the guards at the gate called out. "You sightseeing?" Technoblade paused at the man's cheerful tone. Most of the guards that caught sight of Techno's swords and blood-red cape were quickly to draw their weapons. But aside from the spears that seemed more decorative than threatening, the guards at the gate didn't seem to be on guard at all. "Hubris," the voice said. "This is the kingdom of Hubris." "Perhaps," Techno drawled, indulging the guard. "Although, I suppose I'm more curious about the inside, rather than the outside." "Why didn't you say so?" The guard beckoned towards Techno forwards. "The castle is always open for tourists. Just come right in." That was how Techno found himself, walking leisurely down the halls of a castle. Under normal circumstances, he would have been storming, blades drawn. The guard did not draw the line on his weaponry, and made him discard his swords at the draw, as if Techno needed more than his hands, and sometimes not even those, to wreak havoc. The castle's laxness and security was disproportional to the opponents within. Lush carpets softened Techno's foot to? I was up to where it was talking about the... Oh yeah. Lush carpet softened techno's footsteps. Elegant tapestry. This song does not match.